Welcome, everybody, to the Pick and Roll live stream, the show that goes live every morning on the Board YouTube channel for NBA free picks. And right now, NBA playoff analysis. And there are 4 games on the slate tonight as the NBA playoffs are heating up. There are a couple of series that ended yesterday, one that surprisingly got extended, and a bunch of games as well, as I said, to talk about tonight. Yes, the Atlanta Hawks coming through. Trae Young came through. Pips it for audio listeners. Pips is rocking his Trae Young jersey today in celebration of that. We'll talk about them a little bit later on. But as always, the agenda for the show, the recap of yesterday's plays, the pick for today, and then discussion, which I said will be about the Atlanta Hawks. So the recap, and we finally get back in the win column here. And despite this one, if you look at the box score, it reflects as maybe something that wasn't really much of a sweat. At least for me watching, I stayed up late to watch this game. It came down to the wire. Jokic, in the end, does clear quite easily. Anthony Edwards as well gets over the line here. And we get the winner on the same game parlay here. Up to 11 units on the season, 3.9% ROI. Pips, I'm sure you watched this one as well. Were you in the same boat as me, sweating this one late?
I was sweating a bit first half because Jokic started 1 from 9 and didn't look like he will have a good night.
Yeah.
It ended up with triple-double and a win, but that was probably the worst shooting night of his career. Like, he couldn't get anything. Like, he was 8 from 29 or something like that, which is ridiculous for his kind of efficiency. But he was aggressive, and I wasn't afraid of him getting enough shots. From my perspective, he got a little bit some soft calls, like some free throws.
Oh, yeah.
For the Wolves. Yeah, I wasn't fan of it. I mean, it helped us to win, but I would love if Wolves won that game. They played well. They played great basketball. I'm not a fan of and Towns, but I love Edwards. I love Mike Conley and Nickel Alexander Walker. Like, he was almost out of the rotation and now playing great in playoff series on both ends of the floor, which was kind of surprising in this series. He showed up with Jaden being out and now Kyle Anderson being out in this game, and he played really good. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that Wolves didn't grab another win. It will make the series very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Some calls late didn't really go the way of Timberwolves. Towns fouled out. Gobert fouled out very, very late. But yeah, they had that one. That was unfortunate to see that one not continue. But Jokic, despite I think he finished like 9 of 29, outrageous box score. And in the end, despite it took some free throws late as well a little bit, but we get over the line. We get the win that we are looking for and hoping for the same today. Think we have a better price than what we previously thought we would have for this bet. Let me just confirm that in here. Yes, we do. So actually, we're going to be getting this play at plus money, plus 100 odds here. So let's give you guys the official pick for today's show here. As we have the Knicks and Cavaliers game, we're going to go with Darius Garland, 18 plus points, and a game total alt line of under 212.5, and that is plus 100 at BetMGM. Originally, we're going to do that at DraftKings at minus 105, so that's also a good price to take. But if you shop around, you can get the plus 100 at BetMGM. And we had a pick earlier, or Pips had a pick before the show that moved off, but the thing that he was happy with originally was Darius Garland, and he's happy with this play as well. So why don't you let us know why you want this one for tonight's Game 5?
Yeah, we already had Darius on the show, not successfully, but I'll just say, Game 2, Darius Garland, 32 points on 17 field goal attempts. Next game, he played only 32 minutes due to blowout, and he managed to knock up 21 field goal attempts. It was just the first away game in hostile environment, and he shot 4 for 21 on, I would say, the best looks on the floor. Like, no one had the looks as good as Darius Garland. And in the third game, poor start, then took over in the third quarter, exploiting Brunson matchup. He's getting Brunson matchup. That's the best matchup on the floor. And they are also playing drop coverage. So he's getting wide open looks the most of out of everyone on the floor. And now they are down 3-1. They are going back home. I just think Darius needs to step up hugely here. And even if he has average game, he should still cover this line. And I expect him to score 20 more points tonight. In the second part of this bet, so we had 4 games so far. Average pace in these 4 games is 89. That's
That's
even for
disgusting.
playoffs. That's absurd. And no game had a higher pace than 91. So it's 90, 91, 90, and last game 87 pace in this series. And not a single game out of the first 4 uh, passed over 200 points. So the highest scoring game of the series was 197 points so far. And we have a 15 points higher line than this. So even if it's slow pace, somehow they have crazy scoring, they should still be able to stay under this line because the pace is they're like unbelievable. And I just actually don't see them being way more efficient because throughout the series they are used to what's working, what's not. So defense kind of know what they need to do, especially Knicks. They did amazing job in game 3 and game 4 against Donovan Mitchell, against everyone. They were exploiting, they were blitzing Mitchell, and that doesn't generate as much points when you have Okoro, Levert, and Mobley in corners, and that's great defense. So I think we'll get another game thrown into the mud, low scoring game with Darius Garland taking over as he has the best matchup. When you get Brunson cover with drop coverage, that's the best you can get. That's
Yeah.
that's all he needs to do great in this game, like for sure.
Hopefully, this is not another 4 for 21 night from Darius Garland like we had. I think it was the game 3 because the Cavs,
Yeah,
they
it,
definitely need this.
I think that's one part of the game that I didn't encounter very well, and that's first ever playoff away game and in very hostile environment. That's something players, if you look historically, could shoot way below their average.
Right.
And now he's coming back home, and if he
Yeah.
gets 21 look as he got into the game 3 at home, I expect him to score 20 or more points.
Yeah. I mean, safely, if he gets 21 shots, he should like absolutely destroy this 18 plus line. So, love the spot here. Love this one. You guys, this is a good segue to let you guys know that I will be doing a watch along, a watch party for this game tonight on the Hammer HQ YouTube channel. I'll be live with Clive Bixby as well as Josh Goodwin of Raptors Digest for that game tonight. We're going live at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. So 15 minutes before the start of the game, whatever time zone you are in. If you guys want to come hang out with me, check that over there. I love talking to you guys on that and hanging out, talking betting strategy and talking live betting for that game. So again, that's the Hammer HQ YouTube channel. Hope to see you guys there. But we're also going to discuss here the Atlanta Hawks. Actually, let's get to some comments here before we do that here. Some Badger Boy asked for this one. The concern with that this series is due for a large point total. I wouldn't say like the due factor is necessarily something you should consider for this one. I mean, it's been low scoring for a reason. The Knicks are exploiting the deficiencies from the Cavs. 3 non-shooters from the Cavaliers. I get it's a different environment now, but I mean, the way this series is going, like I think like they're even being generous with how high it is based on the regular season because this has been an incredibly low scoring series. Pips, anything to elaborate on the concern with the point total potentially coming into play?
Yeah, I think we are on good side here. Like this is the low pace. Last game, both teams shot 50 or higher percent effective field goal from the field, and they still stayed well under 200 points. So you'll need to see some ridiculous shooting on this kind of pace in order for them to win. So yeah, even if Cavs try to push the pace, I don't think they are well suited for. I think Knicks are better in that part, so I don't think they'll go for it. So I think we still another battle with shooting with 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
All right. So keep that in mind. Anybody looking to tail this bet. Now let's move to the Atlanta Hawks here. Okay. The Hawks plus 13 underdogs. No DeJounte Murray. Game 5 at Boston. How the hell did the Atlanta Hawks win this game, Pips? You got to let us know.
So I'll say that was the part of the game 2 and game 3 when Hawks went small and had shooters around Trae. So he got more space to operate. With DeJounte, they are not treating him as a shooting at all. With Collins, they are not treating him as a shooter. Capella, so you have Trae Young surrounded by 3 guys that can shoot, so they don't care about them. So he got so much pressure on him in those games. And when he played with second unit a bit with Bogdanovic and Sadiq Bey, Hunter, that looked way better. And the last game without DeJounte Murray, it was Bogdanovic starting, and they looked better on offense, more space to operate, and they were down 12 with 6 minutes left. That was going well for them. And then Trae Young just went kind of ridiculous and scored so many points and turned the game around. Also, I think Boston underestimated the Hawks here because like late into the game, Marcus Smart kind of helped Hawks a lot, and I'll say he's their fourth best guard if you count Jalen Brown as a guard. I would for sure play Brogdon there, and especially with Derek White being primary defender on Trae Young. So why do you need Smart on the floor late into the game? He made some poor fouls on Trae Young, so some turnovers, and it didn't work well. So I think Mazzola did kind of poor in that part. Also, he is not his stubbornness and not wanting to call a timeout when his team and other team is on a run. That's entire season happening. I don't know why. He said in the press conference multiple times this season, I trust my players. I trust my players. Okay, you trust your players, but you still can call a timeout.
Yeah,
and
you still stop the run.
yeah, just you don't need to say anything. You can just stop the run, and get them to sort things out. So yeah, that's the thing. But also Hawks with better spacing and Trae Young operating inside, they shot 46% from three. Bogdan Bogdan was huge. I actually think Bogdan is a better player than DeJounte Murray. I'll say that,
Wow.
yeah, because Bogdan high IQ player, very smart, very not rushing anything, good on ball score, on ball creator, great shooter, not as good on defense as DeJounte, but in this series DeJounte wasn't good on defense at all. They brought him to play defense. He was poor in defense. He was trying to get steals and broke Hawks defense so many times. So I'm not fan of DeJounte Murray. Never was. I think he's overrated on so many aspects of the game. But he had good shooting this series. That's they left him wide open because he usually can shoot, and he made those shots this series. That's the thing. So he is a bit shooting over the good variance on his shooting, but still, I think Bogdanovic playing so many minutes with DeJounte being out helped this team. So yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I get your criticism of DeJounte. I wouldn't. I'm not going nearly as far as what you're saying, but I think the fit is the biggest issue. I don't think DeJounte Murray fits this team. People said that started the season. It's looked to be true. But I will say, to your point on Bogdanovich, interestingly, he may have opened up the game a lot for this team because he was 6 of 9 from the field, 18 points, and was plus 11, which was the highest plus minus in this game. So credit to Bogdan to what he brought to this team, because he had to bring it, and he was a big part of the reason why there is a game 6 here. I'll tell you guys as well why this is such a big deal for the Celtics, because if they win this series, assuming they win this series against the Hawks, they're going to be playing the 76ers in the next round. If they had won yesterday, the Celtics, game 1 of that Sixers series would be on Saturday. And with Joel Embiid's health in question, obviously the Celtics, looking to gain an advantage, want to play that series as quick as possible. But now the start of that series is delayed. So this is a great situation for the Sixers, because obviously the Hawks are back in the series. With all due respect, they'd rather play the Hawks. And now they get a bit more time to rest up Joel Embiid and everything like that.
I'll just say, for example, need to go back to the John Murray. So why I think he's overrated. He's the least efficient 20-plus point scorer in the league for every season. He is 53% true shooting career, and this season and the last season. So that's league average is 58. He is at 53 and shooting so much. He doesn't get to the line. He can make. He doesn't shoot threes, and when he does, he's not enough efficient. Low volume on threes, so he's settling for mid-range shots. That's DeJounte Murray's game. On defense, he has good sides and he has some terrible sides. When you look at his stats, it looks better than it actually is. He has so much deflections and steals because he's gambling almost every possession. So he caused so many breakdowns that like he's the like when you get one steal out of 3 possessions, another 2 you completely broke down your defense. You are not doing the good service for your team. So that was the thing in game 4. That's why Hawks lost. He was poor there, and you have Trae Young, who is just too small, not body enough to play defense, and that usually ends up terrible for the Hawks. So also on offense, someone said his assists and rebounding. His rebounding, uncontested rebounds, and his assists on offense are because he has the ball all the time. He's not creating almost anything. He just it's like Dennis Schroeder. He has a lot of assists, but those assists are not creating for others. He's just passing to other players because he has so much time on the ball.
Right.
Trae Young is like 5 times better creator, five times more efficient scorer, and all the time. So, and when he's not being great on defense, that's just very overrated player for me.
Do you think that Trae Young, DeJounte will both be on this team to start next season?
Probably, because they are stuck in the mud now. They wait so heavily onto the DeJounte. Yeah. But I don't know what will be. They can win game 6. They are playing at home, so
yeah,
it will be interesting if they win game 6. That's if you lose in 7 games to the favorites to win the title, I don't think you have problems there. That's
a good point.
Yeah. But I'll say Saddiq Bey, great addition to the team. Size on the wings. Yeah, they need to move John Collins. And that's thing.
I completely agree. It just hasn't really worked out with John Collins. And look, they're in the playoffs. They're making this a series. Trae Young is clearly, to me, the real deal. If you put a proper team around him, it's just Atlanta has kind of failed to do that so far in his career. But we'll see how that game 6 turns out. We'll see how the games turn out tonight, especially our bet. We have one bet in play for tonight. We got it at BetMGM at plus 100 odds, and it is Darius Garland 18 plus points and the alternate game total of under 212.5. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show today. Reminder, doing that watch party tonight for the Knicks and Cavaliers game 15 minutes before the scheduled start time. I hope to see you there on the Hammer HQ. After this stream, you'll be redirected to our baseball channel at the Hammer. Call to the Pen HQ for John Legaze's show, where he does MLB betting every weekday morning right after we finish on this show. So you go right over there. Hopefully you guys give that a chance. But if you want the NBA content, subscribe to our channel, rate and review 5 stars. Drop a like, and we'll see you tomorrow for more from Pick and Roll.